It is the week in which I have returned from Boston. PAX East 2022 is complete, and I have things to discuss. And some other, WoW had a reveal of its new expansion, I guess we'll probably have to talk about at some point.
That's the plan.
That is the plan. I don't know why I'm wearing a hat all of a sudden, but I'm doing it now for the rest of this.
Setting the vibe, setting the mood.
Gotta rep New York.
Hey, this is Gamers Who Podcast, your weekly, or bi-weekly in this case, roundup of news and commentary related to the video game industry and anything else that might pique our interest. So yeah, you might have noticed that there's a week gap.
There is a week gap.
This is our podcast. We do what we want.
So if we say there's not a week gap, there's not one.
Exactly. So the plan, we got a bunch of news for the past 2 weeks to rip through.
And then we'll talk about PAX.
Then we'll talk about Blizzard expansion. And then we'll talk about PAX.
I didn't know if that was in the other stuff. So,
it's a little bit longer.
Okay.
And I figured, you could be like, this is how I feel about it. Or, I don't really give a shit. Let's talk about PAX.
Interesting. I like your planning, though.
Yeah, there it is.
So here, let's move right along. We'll go for the two things I'm going to talk about that are out.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Bug Snacks, the Isle of Big Snacks.
Came out?
And that's it.
Okay.
Yep. It's the only thing I want to call out.
All right.
More Bug Snacks.
Bug Snacks.
Talking about
Bug Snacks.
Big Snacks.
Big boy Bug Snacks.
All right.
It's a porn version. Bug Snacks porn. Think about it.
I don't want to think about that. I know what I wouldn't click on. Not even in curiosity, I wouldn't click on it. I'd have to be shown it.
Well, that could be arranged.
I'm not Rule 34ing Bug Snacks.
Missing out.
I don't think I am. Yeah, you want to start with odds?
Yeah, I'll start.
All right.
Number one, Microsoft and Sony are considering in-game ads for free-to-play games. Initially, Microsoft would not take a revenue cut and would limit ads to a select group of brands at first. And Sony reportedly wants to encourage studios to focus on free-to-play titles by giving them a way to monetize them as the pandemic boosted their success.
But then at the same time, Sony doesn't want to make their in-house games cheaper because they said it would devalue whatever because of the funding when the PlayStation Plus revamp came around. We're like, well, why don't you put those in the deal? And they're like, nah, that's a money issue, but we want to make more money.
Yeah, with
ads.
Yeah. Microsoft's approach was described as being limited, as in like what you would want to see from in-game ads. Like the example they specifically pointed out was billboards in racing games.
When I was playing Gran Turismo today, I was like, oh, there's a GoPro ad.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yep. And I was like, man, that's 3 of them in a row. I think you would have had variety. Whatever. Vroom, vroom. And there was one for some Italian thing above, like on the over the raceway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it said though. I can't read Italian. Seems like an oversight.
Poor advertising.
Number 2, Activision Blizzard has updated its SEC filing to specify that no negotiations have taken place about what will happen to his CEO, Bobby Kotick, after its acquisition. I, for one, have voted to yeet him into the sun.
Yeah, you think they have a behind-the-scenes agreement that's just not written. And then eventually they'll...
Somebody shook hands somewhere.
Yeah.
Random stall in Irvine,
we're only
California.
signing this check if
Yeah.
you GTFO.
You will not be here.
Exactly.
I'm not writing it down, but I'm telling you.
Exactly. More Blizzard. Number 3, Blizzard President Mike Ybarra said,
also known as Quick,
quote, "No one is doing NFTs," end quote, after some people were worried by a Blizzard poll gauging interest in various subjects, including NFTs.
I have a feeling that they were wondering about it.
Yeah.
and then saw it and went, no.
Nope. Out of this.
Or he never had a plan to do it. That survey still got out with that question in it. And he's like, no. And then had to go back to like one of the other teams and we're like, why did you even try?
I'm wondering if their polling works with like as like political polling does, where there's like a separate group that's just like, let's just see how people feel about these things.
Yeah.
And then later on, the campaign finds out and be like, wait, you asked them what?
Yeah, that's how I feel it probably went, is that somebody wrote it up because it was right before Overwatch 2 beta was like supposed to be coming and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so how do you feel about and then and the WoW announcement, like both Overwatch 2 beta and WoW announcement were both right after this survey came out. So it was like, all right, people had expectations of things, and they're like, so how do you feel about NFTs? And everybody's like, I'll murder you. You think I was gone with harassment? NFTs?
I'll turn this car around right now.
I will take my money back right now. Number 4, the Pokemon Company has entered an agreement to acquire card manufacturing company Millennium Print Group for an undisclosed sum. If Dewey is listening, that is funny.
Is it funny?
It's funny because Millennium is a thing in like Yu-Gi-Oh! Like there is the Millennium pieces, the puzzle, or the puzzle that he wears, the eye, the staff, all that stuff. So it's just funny that they're purchasing a Millennium Trade Group, which is...
They did an episode of their top 10 anime, and that was one of Dewey's top 10 animes.
Was Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yep.
Season 1, I assume, only.
Yes.
Yeah.
Specifically called out Season 1.
Yeah. He knows what's up. He understands.
I was pretty disgusted.
Pokemon Season 1 could also be in there. Or like early Pokemon, like 98 Pokemon could be in there. Only because it's the initial run, and then they kind of get silly. They don't, once Ash becomes, or like fails to become champion, like they stop following it. I was gonna make another reference. Oh, and it's in Yakuza. The Millennium reference to the Millennium Tower that is always there, and they're like, oh, I bet we're fighting on the Millennium Tower again. So it's just like fitting for a Japanese company to also purchase another Japanese company. I assume Japanese company with Millennium in the name.
Yep.
What was apparently in the rest of their list? You say you're disgusted.
There was a lot. It was just
okay,
it's just very specific to their style of anime, which is fine. Everyone's got their flavors. No
Baku.
No.
I have like one really long nose hair, and it's really annoying me. So
that happens. I hate those.
If I start sneezing in the middle of this,
I rip them out.
Got it. Oh yeah, no, that's usually what I do. But I'll start sneezing if I get it.
Yeah. Number 5.
Anyway, welcome to the inside of the podcast,
or the inside of the nose,
or what was that show? Inside the Actors Guild,
inside the Actors Studio,
with oh my god, what is his name?
I can't remember his name, but he died recently.
He did die
like a year ago.
A couple years ago.
Yeah,
but before the pandemic, I believe.
Number 5, Skydance New Media announced a deal with Lucasfilm Games to create, quote, a richly cinematic action-adventure game featuring an original story in the legendary Star Wars galaxy, end quote. Amy Hennig, is the president of Skydance New Media and will lead development. She got her Star Wars game back. Oh, Nate's dying. Oh, double sneeze. Going for the third. There it is.
The good news. The good news is I got it. It is funny because at work, I have that same sneeze, so they know to go 1, 2, pause, 3 is usually how it goes.
Yep.
The other day I only had 2. It was like weird. I usually have 3 sneezes.
And everyone was like, "What the?"
Well,
fuck?
the other guy next to me is like, "I'm waiting for the third one.
It's coming."
And I was like, "Nah, I think I'm good." He's like, "That's weird. Normally you do 3." And I was like, "How aware are we of each other in this office?"
I cry in loneliness since I'm in like a cubicle cave in my.
I usually try to run away from them. I try to go sit in another room just because nobody else is still in the office, so I know there's other rooms of peace and quiet places.
My sweet little baby creature, unfortunately, has picked up my sneezing tendencies, and Samantha always finds them hilarious. Which you experienced it downstairs, where I get these random sneezes that'll have like massive built up, where I'm like, and she thinks that's hilarious. And then I also sneeze when I go in the sun, and my baby does those things, and obviously Samantha's over there geeking out like, and I'm like, it's the greatest thing ever. I'm like, fuck you.
To her or the baby?
Both of them. No.
Fair enough. Yeah, but hey, Amy gets her Star Wars game back.
Yep.
We'll see how long this
I
one
mean,
lasts.
how many fucking Star Wars games does that make now?
I don't know, because she's also supposed to be... Isn't she in the same crew with Gary Whitta and those guys like making that other game? There was that like round table of a bunch of names on... not Babylon's Fall, the other one.
I don't know. I don't remember that.
The one where the girl was surfing down the sand and everything. It was a tech demo for Unreal 5.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Like, what the deal is with that. I know what you're talking about. But...
Yeah. Number 6, Chris Novak, head of research and design at Xbox, has announced his departure from the company after almost 20 years. Novak doesn't have a new role in mind currently, instead opting to take some time off to learn new things, like the letters in the alphabet that aren't X.
X gonna give it to you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Number 7, Gearbox Entertainment is set to fully acquire Lost Boys Interactive for an undisclosed sum. Lost Boys Interactive is a co-developer of Tiny Tina's Wonderland. So there's just, more consolidation in the industry.
Well, it sounds like it was already there.
Yeah, I mean, they also helped with like Call of Duty and some other stuff, but...
Yeah, so it's just another support studio.
Yep.
Which makes sense that they would get picked up by Gearbox when Blizzard and Activision picked up like the rest of their support studios.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it again. Anyway, number 8. We'll see if it happens in the middle of the story. A U.S. District Court judge dismissed a lawsuit filed against Activision Blizzard by a group of the studio's investors, but gave them a window to revise their complaint and file again. So, hey, this isn't good enough. Try again.
Yeah. A lot of Activision Blizzard news this week.
I wonder why.
Number 9, Activision Blizzard announced the election of Lulu Cheng. Oh, fuck me. Maservi to its board of directors. In addition, the company said that Carrie Carr will be nominated for election to the board during its 2022 annual stockholder meeting. That's 2 ladies to the board. And there's 2 gentlemen who are not seeking re-election also at this stockholder meeting. So
Are they the 2 that were
buddy
with Kodak?
I believe they were.
Good. Good. Nintendo has announced that Splatoon 3 will hit the Nintendo Switch on September 9th. So get inkin'.
Yay.
Like ink, not
ink my face, daddy. What? What?
Bad brain, or you just too far jaking it now?
I don't know. It's just been a long week.
I leave you for one weekend.
Everything just falls apart. Is what happens. Number 11, the revamped PlayStation Plus will make its debut on June 1st for Japan, June 13th for the Americas, and June 22nd for Europe. Last and least. Just kidding. You're okay, Europe. I have nothing against you.
I don't have anything against them. I usually prefer them. Or at least how they handle video game stuff anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole slew of stuff I didn't put in here about developers getting 4-day work weeks.
They have soccer teams.
Permanent working from home.
Yeah, like
soccer.
Sign
What's
me
soccer?
Up. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Football. Number my tablet stopped working.
Number 12. It's a lot high. We got to count high this week, which is unfortunate because
Bad brain.
Yeah, it's rough. No learn good.
I don't do the thing well, sir. This is just getting real awkward.
It's cool.
Don't
I
mind
do that
me.
on my phone.
It wouldn't scroll anymore, so it's freaking out.
Yeah.
Alrighty, number 12. The National Labor the national eye was just stroked out. The National Labor Relations Board has ruled that Raven Software QA employees are eligible to vote in a union election.
Suck it, Blizzard.
Haha.
13. A new policy from Apple will see apps that have not been updated for a, quote, significant amount of time be removed from its store. Seems like another, excellent Apple policy.
Oh my god.
No, that was dumb for sure.
I mean, it's not dumb. It's one of those where, like, that should be on, like, every storefront type of thing. Like, hey, have you not updated your stuff? Because you have dependencies and whatever, like, you built with that are clearly out of date and probably have vulnerabilities in them.
Yeah, that's true. I just think it's it shouldn't be like a blanket, like.
I mean, they should be given warnings.
Should be that. I think there should be exceptions too, because like if it's some dumb game that's not like.
Don't you take away my snood?
Yeah, sure.
Do you not know what snood is?
No.
Oh man. Number 14. According
is that a mobile game?
No, it was a game I played on the computer.
Snood.
Pardon my sniffles. Years ago when I was but a wee little boy. But I found it on the phone, and now I can play it on the phone. Oh. It's a typical, like, you got a little cannon, and it loads up the next thing, and you need to match 3 of those things, and then they fall away.
Okay.
And typical, like, if you break multiples, it cascades down and that whole thing. Hey, do you want to come here?
The cat overlord has entered the room.
He runs this shit.
He does run this shit. Oh, big yawn.
Big yawn, big boy.
Big yawn!
Right. Number 14, according to Bloomberg, anonymous sources close to the matter say, quote, several equity firms, quote, are considering a takeover of major games publisher Ubisoft. I, for one, am not shocked at all.
Yes. Probably for the best, honestly.
I honestly think if it sold at this point, it would be less money than Bethesda was.
Yeah, I could see that. I think it is actually valued at less than... Well, what would Bethesda sell for? Do you remember? 7? It's valued at $4 billion, I believe. I looked it up, I think, a week or two ago.
Yeah, and which it's just going to continue to go down.
Yeah.
They're not making anything. Everything's a nightmare. Or, sorry, they're reportedly making things. Nothing's coming out.
I feel like they've just ruined the value of their franchises. 15. 343 Industries has pushed back some promised updates to the Halo Infinite in order to prioritize the well-being of its team. Co-op and Forge were among the updates delayed. So, on one hand, I feel obligated to give you a pass because you said for the well-being of your team. Who knows if that's actually true? I don't trust you anymore. On the other hand, you said we were going to get co-op so long ago. I'm sick of your delays, motherfucker. You had a good thing. And then you fucked it up. Anyways. Speaking of things that were fucked up.
In a game that's... I don't know what the segue is. My tablet's not open. In a game that is like clearly designed to have co-op.
Yeah.
And you still don't have it. Still.
Like, I don't get what the deal is.
Especially because apparently it's there.
I know, like you can break it to get to to get it working. It's just
it's just so baffling to me.
It is. It's mega baffling. Yeah. I find it interesting that Bungie and 343 Industries share a lot of similar DNA. And they both have the same problem with their games. It takes them fucking forever to implement updates. Like Bungie had that issue with like updating content and maps and stuff. It took them fucking ever.
Yeah.
To do like basic stuff.
Yeah.
It's almost like they make systems that like that it seems like they suck at making tools, like dev tools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the whole joke with Bungie for a hot minute, wasn't it? That they were on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Like they built the Halo engine, it was their own thing, and it was all
Yeah.
this custom shit. And it's again going back to like, please stop.
Yeah.
Number 16, Diablo Immortal will release on Android and iOS on June 2nd. Surprisingly, on PC too, in open beta anyway.
Finally.
Yeah, hey, there's actually a date now.
Amazing.
That's more than it's been able to say since it got announced.
We're turning a corner.
And the PC part makes sense, because it is cross-play across all of them.
Yeah.
But they were talking, I believe it was Mike Ibarra, who had put out some stuff about how, yeah, it is a full mobile game. Like, it is going to still be a mobile game, but like, rather than just you guys emulate it, like, we'll just make it available there. Problem solved.
Yeah, which makes sense. 17 Keyword Studios employees working at BioWare's Edmonton studio are attempting to unionize. They're
Interesting.
essentially like a support staff studio.
Always the support staffs.
Probably because they're always the ones getting fucked.
You'd think at a certain point it'd probably be easy for them to just make like a support union, and all of you just get in it.
Yeah, like a freelance. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the direction it's going, because that was the one I stuck this one in because it was BioWare. You know, it's the name, you recognize it.
Yeah, of clusterfucks of the last 3 years. Yeah.
Yep. But there have been so many support studios and or various gaming related entities that are attempting to unionize.
For sure. Number 18, Sony has issued a new policy which states that titles $34 or higher must include limited game trials and at a minimum run for 2 hours.
I like this policy. Bring back game demos.
Yep.
$34. Very weird number.
Yeah, it is an arbitrary number. But I'm curious to just see like how that ends up playing out.
Mm-hmm.
Because $34 would be your halfway mark for games now costing $70.
True. True. The true.
You speak the true. No, that's Cloud Atlas. That's a reference nobody's going to get.
That's fine. 19. Sony has begun rolling out support for the variable refresh rate feature for the PS5. No update is required, as Sony just needs to enable the feature.
Which also does require you to have a TV that has, or I guess monitor that has the variable refresh rate in it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you can't use it, because why would you?
Exactly. I gotta check that out at some point.
Does yours have it?
Yes.
Ah.
That was the whole reason why I bought that fucking TV. And then Sony was just like, we're going to take a year to release it.
I see your new TV and I spit at you.
Yeah. Not that I have time for games anymore, but it's cool.
That's true. That PlayStation hasn't been turned on in a couple months.
Yeah. It gets turned on when the button on the remote accidentally gets pressed, and then I have to fucking turn it off.
Activision Blizzard has announced that its stockholders have agreed to Microsoft's proposal to purchase the publisher.
It's official.
It's official from the stockholders.
Yes. Got the green light.
Now, if the government just says yay.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that part.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole, like, how they have to say something's okay. Shady fucks.
It's a scam. Where were we?
Deja vu.
21. Twitch is contemplating lowering the revenue share of its top creators as parent company Amazon pressures it to increase profitability.
Oh, weird. That seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's really unfortunate that all the streaming competition has dwindled down to just to be, I guess, YouTube Live or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah. I mean, YouTube,
essentially. Yeah, this is a dumb. Ugh, I don't even have the energy to like.
I don't either. Number 22, there's a new Disney game coming called Disney Dreamlight Valley. It looks like Animal Crossing, but with Disney and Pixar characters. So you tell me who you're going to kidnap and keep on your island forever and not let them adventure.
Jasmine.
Which one is she?
Aladdin?
Oh.
I'd kidnap her, if you know what I mean.
I'm not going to say it. For some reason, I immediately only thought the cartoons. Like, I know Jasmine.
Yeah,
Jasmine is obviously a cartoon,
yeah.
but I mean, like, I was thinking, like, Goofy and Donald and Minnie, and, like, I was thinking that Daisy, that whole run.
Yeah.
And then when you said Jasmine, I was like, my brain blanked. I was like, oh, yeah, Disney princesses are a thing in that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm down. I agree.
Yeah. Everyone's got their favorite Disney princess.
Oh, I'm also keeping Goofy.
It's like a court jester
Always.
character?
I need one that I get along with. Jasmine, every time I see her, I'm just going to sing A Whole New World.
Yeah. Whole new world. Get on my magic carpet, bitch.
I was going to go for the Steppenwolf song. Magic Carpet Ride.
Yeah.
You don't know what we can see.
That song's in
Magic Carpet Ride.
that song's in the movie Star Trek First Contact.
That song is also in the playlist on AAA Baseball 2001.
Okay. Thought my reference was obscure. Nate comes in hot.
That's how I know it. I played that on the PC. Didn't know what I was doing.
It's fair.
Played the All-Star team, just hit spacebar, slam home runs.
I still don't know what I'm doing.
Facts.
Where were we? 23. Is it my turn? Yes. An Xbox Bethesda Games Showcase will stream on Sunday, June 12th. It will feature first and third party games.
Hey, there's our first one.
First
Time
one.
to start planning.
Same weekend too, right? Roughly?
I mean, it's usually always around then, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, you get this one. Nice.
Number 24, alpha footage for Skull and Bones has leaked. And it looks like it'll be Ubisoft's Anthem, which...
You gotta watch. I shouldn't have wrote it in here. I should have had you watch it afterwards and then seen. Because, like, I don't know what it is. But I started watching it and I was like, oh, this feels like Anthem.
Oh, no.
Like, it just gives you that same feeling where you're like, I kind of, like, I'm uncomfortable, you know? Like, this doesn't seem right.
That whole where we just go, we know how this ends. Why are you doing it?
Yeah, that exactly.
To be fair, this podcast has known how that was going to end for the last 5 years.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know. I just thought they could have made more of it.
How dare you? How dare you think they could do that when they announced 6 other games and 2 new Ghost Recons and Beyond
we
Good
know
and
this
Evil.
was rebooted at least twice.
Yeah, and Beyond Good and Evil. And initially, because it's in its initial launch, you weren't allowed to get off the ship.
Yeah.
Now you just are the ship, apparently. Or you can't get off? I don't remember.
It looks like a shittier version of what the fuck's the Microsoft one?
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves. Looks like a shittier version of Sea of Thieves.
How is that possible?
Well, Sea of Thieves now is like
good.
It's
yeah,
decent.
No, it's good. Yeah.
It looks like a shittier version of Sea of Thieves, but with Ubisoft's fucking like cookie cutter game engine.
I can't wait for the first ship to do a trick off the wave or something, and I'm trying to equate it to Riders Republic for some reason.
And that, you know what? 5 seconds, you already came up with a better game premise. All right. 25 is a rumor.
You know what I every time, not even to stop you again.
Yeah, God.
Do you remember the Funhouse videos of, oh my God, what was the name of the game? It wasn't Pirates Cove. It was Pirates something. They were playing a pirate game. And the whole joke was the guy's name was Captain Chris. And it was just this terrible thing. It's a terrible game. And all I can think of every time I hear Skull and Bones is just that is that game. I'll have to show you after. I can't remember what it's called. It's not Pirates Cove. It's Pirates something.
Interesting. All right, 25, we got a rumor. The Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order sequel might be a current gen exclusive. And my definition, I don't want to loop you in here without, your official stamp of approval. When I say current gen, I'm referring to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series.
I believe we would both agree to that.
Because this next gen shit, we are in the gen.
Yeah.
We're in that generation.
Yes.
It's not next. We're in it.
Now is present. Present is now.
Exactly.
Next is in the future.
Yeah.
And right now, that was the past. Boom, it's already gone. See?
Yep.
We live in the now.
All right, so the sequel will be current gen exclusive, and it won't be released till 2023. Also, it may drop the Fallen Order subtitle. Or title. I guess it's like a title. I don't know.
It's technically a title because the colon comes after it.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry. The colon comes after Jedi, which is the annoying
So it's
part.
yeah. So it would be a Star Wars Jedi game.
Anyway.
Yeah. That's a rumor from this Jeff Grubbs guy who seems to be...
Oh, Jeff's good people.
Yeah, he's done like every fucking rumor I think that we've... or Jason Schreier.
Yeah. I mean, they're two of the Grubbs good people.
There is a rumor as well that we might see something about it at Star Wars Celebration on May 4th.
May it be with you. What is that this year?
What's that?
May 4th.
I don't know.
First is what, Sunday? Wednesday?
I guess.
Yeah. Hey, Mets threw an 0-0.
They're just killing it.
And Glaber hits a 2-run home run, so 9-2.
Jesus. They're trying to go for the 10 runs like that. They're making that their thing.
Good. Don't let this offense stagnate because when they're bad, it's bad.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess it worked out.
It did, so it did. Or do you want me to
number 26?
You want me to do 26 because you're going to be doing all
I'm
the
going to rip it. I'm going to rip it. We're good. We're good. We got you.
All right.
Number 26, Blizzard has formally announced the next WoW expansion, Dragonflight. Will focus on the return of the dragon aspects, the magical guardians of Azeroth, who disappeared after the events of the Cataclysm expansion 12 years ago. Players will journey to the mysterious and hidden Dragon Isles to explore 5 zones, each themed after one of the 5 dragon aspects, also Dragonflights. Dragonflight will also add a new race class combo called Drakthir Evokers, a race of draconic humanoids with range, damage, and healing powers related to the dragon aspects. Drakthir can only be the Evoker class, and the Evoker class is race-locked to the Drakthir. Dragonflight will bring a host of changes, including a revamped talent system, revamped crafting, and the game's first UI overhaul in 18 years.
Thoughts, feelings,
Philosophical statements?
hopes, dreams.
That someday I meet... Oh, we're talking about the game. What have you seen? Have you watched the trailer?
I watched you talking about the cinematic one?
Yes.
I watched the cinematic trailer.
So you saw our boy Craig.
I saw Craig.
I don't know what they're calling him.
I don't know either. Craig sounds great to me.
But Craig's the reference to the Halo guy. He was the guy from the trailer.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I watched it. I have no fucking idea what was going on.
It might have been Steve. People were throwing around as a joke name. I don't remember.
Maybe. Like I had no frame of reference for what was happening, other than like
nobody else does.
This guy's trying really fucking hard, and I got props to him for doing that.
Nobody else has a frame of reference, and if they do, they're lying to you because nobody has read that far into the lore. But every frame of reference you needed is in the video.
Okay,
those are the Guardians.
Yeah.
You know,
I figured they were Guardians of some kind, trying to signal to some fucking people that they can come back or whatever. I don't know.
Because if they couldn't turn it on, the idea was that the dragons would never know how to get home.
Yep.
They just ended up taking 10,000 years to get back.
Yeah, classic.
As WoW timelines go, it's always 10,000 years.
Always
imprisoned.
It's always got to be a fucking portal somewhere too.
For 10,000 years. What sword? Anyway.
I watched some of the roundtable stuff.
Okay.
Just getting glimpses here and there, and that's really about it. I'm trying to think of if there's anything else that I nabbed that.
Did you see the screenshots of the talent tree?
I haven't looked at the talent trees.
Did you see the screenshots of the Drakthir?
I haven't. I don't think I have. And they haven't shown the UI at all either.
Kind of. There's like some shots of it.
I haven't seen any of it then, I guess is where we'll go.
Okay. Let's put the UI customization on a level Star Wars.
Okay.
Do what you want.
Yeah. It's free for all.
Good shit. It's what it should have been anyway.
Yeah. Oh, so that's what they're moving to.
Yeah. Like, that's the easiest thing to, is another MMO you've played. It's the closest thing to compare it to.
Okay.
Move things wherever you want. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Talent trees. You remember old talent trees?
Yeah.
I'm talking old talent trees. None of this, pick one of three.
Yeah, the old
You were running, 30-20s.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome back.
Did not see that coming.
Right. We're going to level 70.
Okay.
I didn't see that coming. I'm almost annoyed that we're going to level 70.
Wait, what's the cap now?
60.
So they're doing a bump again.
Right, which I was hoping they were just going to do another squish again.
Yeah.
But whatever. Fine.
So we're just
fine, we're potentially repeating the cycle and having to do it again.
Okay.
That's exactly what I thought they were smart enough to avoid. Apparently not. So we're going to do this again, and in a few years we'll flip it back. Fucking A. The talent tree. I'll use Druid as an example because it's the one they used as the example. It is 2 talent trees.
Okay.
So you are your class. So you have a Druid tree, and then you have your specialization tree.
Okay.
So you have generic Druid talents, which are the same no matter what your specialization is.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a specialization tree. So you have a Resto tree, you have a Balance tree, you have a Feral tree, you have a Guardian tree.
Yep.
For Druid.
Okay.
You can, Warrior has Arms, Fury, and Prot as their other 3. Or, I guess Drakthir technically has their Invoker and Evoker, whatever, the healing and the damage one. So yeah, you'll have those. You'll always have a generic tree, and then you'll have the specialized one.
Mm-hmm.
You can have multiple talent builds saved.
Okay.
So something like max level, I think, is 51 points total to put between the two. 31 in your class tree and 20-something, I think, in the other one. I think is how it breaks down. I don't remember exactly. So you'd have that. And then say you were... I'll use my Balance Druid as an example. So I talent through the Druid stuff that I want, and I talent through the Balance stuff I want. And I went full, single target. Well, now I'm going to go do something that's AoE based. Okay. I'm going to build an AoE one, and I'm going to save that. So now whenever I go into those things, I can just open it, load up that one, or load up that one, and easily switch on the fly.
So essentially have talent loadouts.
Right. but you can only build your loadout in town.
Okay.
But you can freely swap in the field. So you can have.
So theoretically, the idea is you have like 3 or 4 different.
You just build out like 7 different rows.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you could run into a situation after that where you should be like, oh well, this.
Yeah.
And then you can just flip around based on what you need.
All right. So how do the dragonflights work? Have they said yet?
What do you mean? A little more specific. Like historically, what are they?
No, like how's the how's that mechanic gonna work? Or is it just like you have to be?
It's not Covenants 2.0.
It's nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
Okay.
It's just not that.
Okay.
There's the 5 of them. There's technically more than that, but whatever. There's 5. There's the 5 main ones. We're not talking about like the chromatic flights or the infinite flight, which is like the corrupted bronze flight. Whatever. We're not talking about those. These are your 4 or your 5 basic ones. And from my understanding, from what they were saying, you're still going to be like leveling reputation and stuff with them, but you can do all of them at the same time. You're not locked down to doing one. You can choose if you wanted to, I guess, or at least this is what it sounded like to me. You could choose if you wanted to focus on one and just try to burn that one, or you could get like multiple rewards. Like, I don't know if this is exactly how they're doing it, so I'm saying this out of my ass, but you finish a quest and it's like, well, you can get 500 rep and put it into any of the Dragonflight, any singular Dragonflight, you can get 500 points of rep with that, or you can get 100 with all of them. Is probably how they're going to do it, or something similar.
I also read that they're doing more stuff account wide instead of character wide.
Higgy doubled 3 runner score 12-2.
Jesus. 3 runners on a double?
Yeah, bases low double.
Okay.
Anyway. What was your next question?
Are they account wide? Character specific?
Yes and no. So it sounds like the idea is to make a lot more things account wide.
That's what I read, but
there are still certain things that will be character specific. But the idea is to have more things account wide.
Nice.
Philosophy-wise, it seems like they're moving in the direction we want. But I'm a WoW player. I've been burned before.
Yeah. So who's the baddie in this? Do we know?
They haven't said yet. There's a bunch of people it could be. I kind of like that they're just not a galactic issue. Like, it's whatever, man. That's a corrupt dragon. Let's kill him. Bang, bang. What up with that thing? I want to know. Like, no, I'm sure there is going to be a big baddie, but I'm hoping it's not like, here is the big baddie, and it's more like, here's a baddie, here's a baddie, here's a baddie.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
People want to fight Galakrond. Galakrond is literally so powerful to the point that he's actually technically dormant, not dead, because nobody can kill him. So it would be a weird thing for him to fight us and either die, which then a bunch of people would scream that he's dead, or he breaks out, gets powerful, and we fight to put him back in his prison, which would be fine, but kind of weird to like navigate story wise. The one that is interesting is Dormammu? No, not I've come to bargain. No, the actually, funny enough, the time-based leader of the leader of the time-based bronze dragonflight. His corrupt, like, infinite self is called Murazond, and we fought him in a dungeon in Cataclysm. I believe it was Eternity's End was the name of it. Or, no, the End Time. End Time was the name of it. And you fight him, and he has a voice line that says something along the lines of, like, this will happen. Because it's an alternate timeline. Like, he messes with time, obviously. He's like, this will happen, and you will have to kill me. But that was 12 years ago, and, like, you know, it's a throwaway line that if nobody really thinks about it. Well,
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, so is something going to actually corrupt him and now we have to kill him? Okay. That would be an interesting, like, whatever patch boss fight.
Yeah.
Like the Awakening of the Infinite or something like that. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm intrigued. I'll have a Drakthir. I think they look like shit, for the record. I think they look terrible.
I looked them up while you were talking, and I thought they were very underwhelming.
Yeah, I think they objectively look bad.
They kind of look like they took, like, the model for the, what are they called? The fucking blue dudes with the hooves.
Avatar? Oh, Draenei?
Yeah, and then,
Yeah.
like, manipulated them a little bit. And was like, throw some horns on there, some scales. Boom! Done.
I mean, they yeah, they're just super, like, wimpy looking.
Yeah, they're...
Like, I don't want them to be Hulk units like Char and Guild Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Where they're just, oh, brr.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't need them to be that, but I need them to have, like, a little bit of something to them. Like, I'm not a whelpling. Like, oh, yeah, somebody, I breathe fire, wee. Like, no, come on.
Speaking of Guild Wars, I saw a lot of people. I don't know if they were complaining. I think it was a comment that some of the devs made during the roundtable stuff that they did. That they're like, "Oh, we wanted to make, like, the traversal unique and all this and that." And then there was a bunch of people being like, "This is the same shit they have in Guild Wars 2 now, or they have had in Guild Wars 2 for a year or two or something."
I'm just gonna say sure. I don't know.
Yeah, that was the same thing. I was like, oh, I didn't know they had fucking dragons and flying in Guild Wars 2.
The last time we saw they had dragons was that Frozen expansion.
Yeah.
Where the thing comes out of it pulls a Syndragosa. Oh, you have a dragon of ice? Oh, guess what? So did I 14 years ago. Yeah. In a win called Wrath of the Lich King. You ever heard of it? Because Classic's coming out.
Is that what they're doing for Classic? Is it... What did they make an announcement? They made an announcement for Classic.
It was the same time. That Wrath Classic is on its way.
People are probably fucking thrilled about that.
I'm hyped.
Yeah.
Whether or not I go back and play, it's still 50-50.
Yeah.
Because if I do, I'm going to have to boost the character.
Oh, dirty booster.
Because I'd rather play my Warlock, which is what I played back then.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Nostalgia.
Yeah. Just put me. I'll name it the same name and everything. I'll bring back the legend thereof of Dead Tree. Why was my name Dead Tree? Good question. I couldn't tell you.
All right. Well, it's a cool name. It's a good name, Dead Tree.
Yep.
All right.
Dead Tree at that point?
You got anything else you want to talk about with WoW?
Not really. Still just grinding.
Grinding. All right. Do you want to sing us tales from PAX East?
Sure. A little wax poetic.
Wax poetic.
Tales from the Crypt. The Crypt Keeper.
So you laughed all funky.
So I can't do the laugh. I'm weak. Yeah, no. So it was a good time. Good 4-day trip. It was the smallest PAX for sure that I've been to.
Seemed less crowded than
in Boston. It was definitely less crowded. Saturday was the only day that felt like it was crowded, but Saturday felt like a normal Friday. And even then, it still didn't feel
so. Like Thursday,
as full.
Was dead.
Thursday and Sunday felt dead.
Yeah,
like you get around and do whatever you wanted. Friday was still pretty dead comparatively.
Wow. Interesting.
I think we played Ramen 3 or 4 times.
So were the
Ramen is up there as like my favorite thing at the show.
Okay, so that was going to be my question: is what stuck out?
I really liked. I'm purposely going to open up our Twitter account because almost everything that I played or looked at was tweeted out for us, and I'm lazy. But I did really enjoy Ramen from the crew. I won twice, and I came in second the other time. When you won, you got a chance if you played, you got a chance at the crane machine.
Mm-hmm.
That I actually have it at the end of the hall. That you could, in the crane machine, it was like a plastic steam basket that inside had a like stress ball dough, steam dough thing.
Mm-hmm.
Dumpling, I guess.
Okay.
I could not think of the word dumpling for whatever reason. And we played it the first day. The machine was not on and it was empty. And I was like, oh, that's whatever. I won, and I was like, okay, so I don't know what that machine means, but whatever. Cool, I win. We go back the second day, we see that it's on, and the guy's like explaining it. We're like, oh, all right, yeah, sure, we'll play again. We played, and I won. Dominated. Absolute domination. I won by like 40 points. And then, so the deal was if you won, you got unlimited tries. And then if you couldn't get it after so long, he would just open it for you, and like that way you weren't, losing the joy of getting it.
Yeah.
It only took me 2 claws.
Nice.
Oh yeah, felt good about that one. But yeah, I'm just gonna go through our own recap of PAX East as presented by the Gamers2 Twitter account, and we're gonna go in the reverse order of things I saw. Sweet Discord booth, everybody was there. It's like campouts again because it was Camp Wumpus, the Discord little guy. Todd did get his picture taken with it, so
I didn't know it had a name.
Oh yeah, it's got a name. It's Wumpus. We also went to a Discord or a panel on Discord with some of the people from Discord. It was pretty cool. We also stopped by the Devolver Digital panel booth. That was for the Cult of the Lamb game. Had very Binding of Isaac vibes, and immediately upon seeing it, I was like, Dewey. This should just checks everything off.
Yeah. Classic.
We did do some other games. There was one that was called Die by the Blade. It was the side panel camera angle of like your Street Fighter, your typical fighting style games.
Yeah, like the 2D side scroller.
Kind of, yeah. But there was a lot more 3D to it because like you could actually like pivot in a circle around.
Okay.
But the fighting was actually like a really good like sword fighting game. Like it had kind of that For Honor mechanic of like where you're gonna block directional wise and then attack and stuff like that.
Mm.
But it just looked a lot smoother and faster and like actual sword fighting versus like battle axing. So yeah, that was up there. There was another one which this is gonna probably be up through a few things here, but it was a game called Demio, I believe is how it was pronounced, and it was a like tabletop but 3D isometric render, like doing this whole thing. So you could like play a tabletop game across however many, like a tabletop D&D RPG style, but it just looked very convenient to be able to play like with a bunch of people at this like isometric 2D type view.
Okay.
But they also did like a sweet painting.
Mm-hmm.
Or painting, drawing, I don't know what you want to call it, but it was all hand done because I watched the guys do it over the days, like on the floor in a section. It took them like 3 days to do it.
Fucking fancy.
But it was pretty cool. I snagged a board game, and at the same booth, Todd snagged a board game. These are from the TESA, or TESA Collective. The one that came back to the house with me was Space Cats Fight Fascism.
Okay.
And the one that he went for was Good Dog, Bad Zombie. So.
Very interesting on both accounts.
Yeah, hey, man. Space Cats against fascism? Come on. What's more up my alley?
Yeah.
Down with the red and cats fighting against fascism.
Yep. Although Good Dog, Bad Zombie also makes sense.
Oh, yeah, right up there. let's see here. What else did we see? Spinning right round, spin me right round. I do think the sweetest booth was Tiny Build, but I think that a lot almost every year because they always have a very good good showing of a booth. Oh, there were so many more tweets that I was not paying attention to that happened. Board game area was massive. It was always usually really busy. I'm not going to talk about the game that we don't know if we can talk about it. Cursed to Golf looked like a lot of fun. This is a game that's getting played on the Switch. It'll also be available on Steam. I believe there was a demo, or there is still a demo. But yeah, you're golfing to escape golf purgatory. And I'm always down for a good golf game.
Yeah, always. Love golf.
Yeah.
Not in real life, though. Terrible.
That's true, but I will play. But I am terrible. Turbo Overkill. Good old fast-paced wall running hero time, chainsaw legs, lots of booms.
Wall running.
Think like Doom shooter where it's just chaos the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
That, but like more. And retro graphics.
And chainsaw legs. Why wouldn't you just run over everyone?
It's an option.
Okay.
Intel had a massive booth.
That's interesting.
It was very large. Probably the biggest booth there.
For what?
They had like a stage and they had some other stuff. They were doing some merch. They were showing off custom builds.
They have their graphics cards there?
No, not that I remember seeing. They had a sweet, one of the new Nux.
Oh, yeah.
And then they had a sweet like mini PC. That was this big.
Okay.
You had the power supply at the back half.
Mm-hmm.
And the front half, you had one unit that went in that was your CPU and everything else. And then you could fit probably a full 3080 in the PCI slot right in front of that.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing was like that big.
Yeah, sandwich style case, yeah.
Yeah, and you could just... I was like, I'm in love with this thing.
Oh, you don't like small PCs?
I don't for my house.
Oh.
But I liked the idea of having one in case, we going back to what we've talked about before of like, oh yeah, I'll show up, we'll play something. It's like, yeah, that makes that super convenient. Mm-hmm. Granted, I'm not going to drop $3,000 on it.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of it. But no, here is where I want one of their builds that they did do. So you remember the Thermaltake case that I've talked about before?
Yeah.
The giant, tall one.
Mm-hmm.
They took a joke that happened on Newegg of like, it dispenses liquids, and made one using a Raspberry Pi for the Pi bartender version.
Yep.
And they had it was liquid cooled, but then they had other tanks in there as well that were tied into the Raspberry Pi that you could pick one of 4 cocktails and then dispense it. Like it had a whole thing to dispense right there.
Classic.
Yeah. And it was like, yeah, that's good. That's good. I like that. They also had done an artist series where they were featuring, I don't remember how many it was, a bunch of artists had done basically like extra large mouse pad size prints and stuff that you could then buy the mouse pads there. So there were some pretty cool ones.
The tiny build, was that a custom thing, or was it did they use like a case that they used components that were like consumer available? Do you know?
Oh, for the beer one?
No, the little one.
Oh, the little one? That was all their stuff.
It was all custom? Like the case and everything was custom? Or was it like things that they make?
The Intel thing that I was talking about with the mini PC? Yeah, you can just go buy one.
Oh, was it that thing where like it's like modular?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, like if you pop that off, you'd have just the power supply at the back of it. Then you'd have their part, and then in front of that would be another PCI slot.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when they announced that,
Yeah, but it was just actually there, and I was like, that's actually really cool. There was a game called We Were Here Forever. They had a few sequels, or this is a sequel to a few they had before. There was a co-op puzzle-solving game.
Okay.
We went there the first day. we were talking to one of the people, and they had a bunch of people playing, and we were trying to see some other stuff too. And we're like, we'll make sure to double back like throughout. We're here all weekend. We'll try to come back. Every time we went back, they were busier and busier.
Oh wow,
we literally never got a chance to play it because they were so busy.
Damn, good for them.
Yeah. But I felt bad because I was like, we said we'd come back and play it, and we came back multiple times, and then it just had more and more people, and we're like, well, we're never getting in to play this game. And we still, we would watch it for like 10 minutes, still couldn't figure out how to play it. Or like not how to play it, like couldn't figure out like how to solve it because we're at the mercy of like watching some other people try to do it, and you're like, I get kind of what they're doing, but not the whole thing.
That makes me interested because it sounds like it might be challenging.
It looked it. Or I'm an idiot. Your pick.
Never know.
There was Excedrin there.
Yeah.
Now that's just kind of like a weird thing to just... But there was an Excedrin booth. Like...
I mean, it sounds weird initially. But...
Yeah.
It makes sense.
You could go scan your badge or like a chance to win a bottle of Excedrin or a keyboard or whatever.
Yeah. Makes sense. Headaches, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, Excedrin is my go-to. Like, oh man, I got a headache. Boom, Excedrin.
Yeah.
Or boom, get away from the person making me angry. Both solutions work. There was a game called Divigo. Divigo. I'm going with that. I'm not positive that's what it was. But it was a VR game that you could play 1v4. It was being demoed at 1v1. So you had the guy in VR was a giant, essentially a floating head with two hands. And you could like pick up trees on the map, and you're just trying to crush and kill the other person running around who's running around with a controller. But you could play 1v4, so the giant has 4 people trying to like fight him and all this stuff. It was a lot of fun to watch get played, and I kept waiting for the time where somebody in that VR headset was going to just cold cock somebody. And there were multiple times where I thought somebody was just going to get punched straight in the face because it came so close so many times. Like, there was not much space around them. And this guy's just full swinging and just, like, dodging rockets and thing and throwing things. I'm like, somebody's going to get whacked.
What VR headset were they using?
One of the cheap Oculuses. The full white one.
Oh, so like a Quest?
Yeah. Then we played a board game, and I'm going to call this one out because we played it with the creators and they were awesome. It was Tricky Dicks, the Richard measuring card game. I have an average sized ruler signed by them.
Nice.
Along with, I have a signed copy of the like deck that they custom like drew on and everything.
Nice.
And it's a 53 or 52 card deck that it is a picture of Richard Nixon, doing the whole piece.
Mm-hmm.
But they're warped into either be like wider or taller or whatever. And the way that you play is you look at yours, you say, I have the longest Richard, the thinnest, the thickest, whatever. And if you win, you collect all the other cards, and then it goes to the next person. You just keep going around.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. So
yeah.
It's a simple.
It's very simple.
Yeah, simple. It's not going to be like a fun like party game or drinking game or something like that.
Yeah. So Todd and I played it, and then I played it again with the creators and the person I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Think about that. We all sat down and played again.
Nice.
So it was a fun time. They were a lot of fun. So that is Tricky Dicks, the Richard measuring contest at Rynot, WRYNOT.com. A lot more tabletop going on. I played a lot more tabletop too. There was the old Isonzo? Another Verdun.
Oh
sequel.
yeah, okay.
I don't know. Isonzo? I don't know how it is pronounced. Todd and I did sit down and play, and it was pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly still early. Things like clipping through floors and stuff like that. But felt good. Murdered a lot.
Nice.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge.
Yeah.
Gave me all the vibes I wanted of Turtles in Time, and I was like, yeah.
There's been some people at work who've been hyped on the Cowabunga collection there, and specifically the Shredder's Revenge.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It brought all the feels right back, and I was like, man, Saturday morning, I'm just gonna sit down and jam. We did also pick up the game Your Friend is Sad.
Okay.
Board game. So, you got your friend's sad, you gotta help him out. That could be by, destroying a ring where you venture to Mount Sad to destroy a burdensome ring. Lazy Saturday. Eating burritos in your underwear and used to be one of your favorite activities. Or snowball fight. You've had more fun if you agreed to wear your long johns. I don't know what that means. Yeah, so there's a lot of fun stuff like that. Did some more PAX East things. Oh, another thing at the Tiny Build booth was a game called Tinykin. Had like I think it was the world's smallest man or something like that was the idea. And it had Paper Mario kind of vibes. So like everything you moved was 2D, but the whole world's obviously 3D. So it was interesting. It's pretty cool. Ride around on soap. AMD had a giant picture of Master Chief. That was pretty cool, and I just started laughing every time I saw it, because I was like, man, you imagine if there were two of you? Oh, not in this lifetime. Aha, get it? Co-op joke. The game Justice Sucks was there again. That is the vacuum murdering game. That was there when Dewey and I were there. I'm pretty sure I talked about it before.
Okay.
But they had painted up a Roomba that was just going around in like a cage that looked like it had murdered things. It was pretty funny. Shoulders of Giants was one where you were a frog riding in a mech. Had Risk of Rain vibes to me, where you're like, they were playing a co-op, so there were two of you. You picked up abilities and things, and you just murdered waves of enemies. I was like, yep, sounds good. Sign me up. A game called Asterogos had a little bit of Phoenix Rising vibes.
Okay.
Phoenix Rising, but with harder comp. Looked good. They had a game called Spider Hack. It's still Tiny Build. Tiny Build had a lot of things. A game called Spider Hack, which is a party game. Played 2 to 4 players. And you are spiders that were just trying to eliminate the other ones, and then you'd move to the next map, move to the next map, and you just rack up points. Whoever won that room, first 1 to 10 wins. You'd pick up weapons, so you might be a spider with a lightsaber, spider with a double-ended lightsaber, spider with the like Imperial Guard sabers, where it's like a staff with only the lightsaber end or whatever. So there's some weapons like that. You could shoot a web to like get yourself back on things or whatever. A lot of fun. I played like shit. Him and I played with the 2 media members. I don't remember who they were, but it was funny because they're like, there's a line obviously, and if you're media and you like have an appointment, you get preference. So the 2 media guys show up, and the guy's like, "Oh, I need 2 people. Is anybody here in a group of 2?" And like nobody else was, and we're like, "Yeah, we're 2." And they're like, "All right, cool. You get to play now." And we just cut probably 25 people in line.
That worked out.
Yeah. It was funny because we had the whole like crowd reacting behind us to what we were doing.
Oh, that's fun.
Which was fun. There were 2 stations going on of ours and theirs. Or sorry, not of ours and theirs. There was our station, which with Todd and I and the 2 media guys, and the station to the left with 4 other random people. But I realized based on reactions, the crowd was watching our screen, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Now there's pressure. I got my ass beat in that game, but I did have a couple good kills where like I jumped off the ceiling and essentially just kind of like the bird from the video earlier. I just jumped off the ceiling with a lightsaber out, just aimed straight down. I was like, I'm either killing him or he kills me. So there's that. Oh, I'm just flipping through this. There's so much. There's the Vigo. Actually, here, I don't know if you can see this image. If you want to understand how somebody was about to get punched.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or broken TV.
Oh yeah, that's right. There were the super Marxist twins. Which is, can you imagine if communism decided to try to infiltrate by taking over beloved characters and making them communist and sprouting propaganda? So yes, it is a take on Super Mario. The Super Marxist twins.
That's funny.
Gory was at PAX. If you remember Gory. That was that sweet catboarding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I meant to say skateboarding cat, but honestly, catboarding? Fuck it. It's a thing
Catboarding.
now.
Sounds good to me.
Ramen was there. Obviously, I already talked about that. Big fan. And I think that kind of covers all of it, really.
Sounds like it was a good PAX for like the indie and board game scene.
For sure. It was if you were not a person for those two things and you wanted like more AAA, it's not the PAX for you this year.
See, I'm generally not an indie person, but that's the best way to experience indie, I think, is being able to meet the people who worked on the game and then get hands-on with it.
Yeah, and I didn't even talk about this, but there was a game. Oh, I'm gonna feel so bad for not knowing the name now. Word something or I can look it up and find it later. I'm not gonna find it now. But essentially, you were playing like Boggle.
Okay.
And this is a video game, so you'd get what I remember what the row was, like 4x5 maybe grid of letters, and you needed to make a word, and depending on how big the word was, depended then what translated to how much damage you did to the enemy on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And certain tiles would gain effects every time the board like refreshed, where it's like, well, if you don't use this letter, you're going to take a point of damage.
Okay.
Or if you, like this one is locked, so no matter what, if you use it, it's going to stay here, or you could gain a shield, or, whatever type of thing. So like you were encouraged to use certain letters to try to figure out certain words.
Mm-hmm.
Todd played that for a hot minute, because he was a fan of that. And we talked to the devs there, and they were really nice guys and had a good conversation with them. So
nice.
I feel bad I don't remember the name of the game though. But yeah, so there was a lot of that, a lot of talking to
any
people.
Any good panels?
My two favorite for this year were the Mega 64 panel, because it's always just super entertaining, and the D&D Acquisitions Incorporated show on Saturday night was always good fun.
Nice.
It was Todd's first like seeing that, and pretty good laughs out of him at certain points, because there was some good moments in there that I was really pleased with.
Nice.
I'll explain them after this.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all I got from PAX. I missed an entire week of WoW for it because I should have raided Tuesday. My power was out.
Oh yeah.
I didn't get internet back at the house until I was in Boston.
Holy shit! When did your power come on?
Wednesday at about 11:30 in the morning.
Crazy.
I was like 31 hours without power. Just silly. The whole storm ruined a shit ton of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. That was crazy. How many people lost power is crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Up my way, and Todd had lost power. One of my friends in Boonville, when I was talking to her, she's like, "Oh, my power just turned back on. It had been like 6 hours or something." And I was like, "Must be fucking nice."
We didn't have any issues, which is classic, because I bought a generator with the anticipation of this type of thing happening, and then
yeah, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I have a solution for not the problem anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's all I got. 7 days. You've been up to, or I guess 14 days.
Yeah.
Well, wait, no, 7. Fuck it. Like I said, there wasn't a bye week. I don't know what you're talking about. 14 days. What you been up to?
Nothing at all. I watched some stuff. Watched some anime. Watched the Batman.
What'd you think?
I liked it. It's long, for sure.
It's like 3 hours, isn't it?
It is 3 hours.
Yeah.
I believe it's 2 hours and 58 minutes.
Right against it. Will I like it?
I don't know.
That's interesting because that's basically the vibe I got from doing it. Now I'm like, all right.
I don't know.
I'm semi-scared. Because
I kind of
I
think
feel like I should like it.
I don't. You know what? I could. That's the thing, though, is it's so different from what we normally we've gotten for Batman in the past that I could see you not liking it, and I could see you liking it. And then that's about it. I mean, I haven't played anything. I have Lego Star Wars and still haven't started it. Gran Turismo, still haven't started it. And that's it. I mean, just doing some cleaning and some life planning stuff and just taking it day by day at this point.
I mean, it sounds riveting.
So riveting.
Especially the life planning stuff. I mean, that's just...
Yeah, just figuring out plans and nonsense.
Hey, listen, every now and then you gotta have a plan.
You can have a plan, but I feel like you rarely follow plans. So,
Hey,
in general,
listen, that's just because you're right doesn't mean I want to hear it.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I don't have anything exciting. Hopefully, eventually, I will. But
fair,
yeah,
word. I mean, we pretty just recapped my entire 2 weeks, so it was. I didn't have power. I couldn't do anything. Went to Boston to fix that issue.
Yeah,
did stuff for 4 days.
Played a bunch of games and
came back, raided in WoW this week, which was a little rough getting back into it for the first time in a week of like, I feel like shit. I don't know what I'm doing. Cleaned that up, got back into it, and was feeling good. Got 2 bosses killed in Mythic. Got to the 3rd boss, or like got pretty far into the 3rd boss. Pretty sure we can just murder that next week with no issues. Just have to change a couple things, or make sure people's priorities are correct of like what they need to do damage to and stuff like that. And then we'll see how long this train rides. Is that a sentence? I have no idea.
it sounded good.
All right, take it. We take those. And then I do need to get back and finish Horizon. I still haven't done that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the only thing I need to like finish. Is Horizon, and then I have the show, and I have Gran Turismo, which I've played both of this week. Or something else. Oh, I am starting book 4 this week.
Oh, nice.
Of Witcher. The Collective? No.
Time of Contempt?
That one. I knew there was a C somewhere in that.
Yeah.
Wasn't close at anything else. Yeah, Time of Contempt. Just finished Blood of Elves. Which...
Nice.
All right. I like the books. I enjoy them, but there are definite moments where I'm like, I would strangle these characters if I had to deal with them.
It gets better for the most part. I mean, you kind of... Yeah,
well, this is the first time that they've alluded to the fact that everything's going to go to shit.
Yeah.
Because it ends with when it's like, I'll see you, or I'll come back and visit you, Nanika, or whatever. And the narration of like, she never did. Like, because she can't. Like,
yeah.
Everything kind of ends.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, you might have some rough stuff to go through still then that might make you want to keep strangling people.
Oh, no, for sure. I mean, this is the 3 ends with them leaving the temple of, what is it, Melitala or whatever?
Yeah. Yep.
And it's her and Yen leaving.
Okay, yeah, so yeah.
To go meet, I believe to go meet Geralt wherever they're supposed to meet.
Mm-hmm.
But after the whole incident with Riles, you don't talk to Geralt at all for like the last 3/4 of the book, or last quarter of the book, basically.
Mm-hmm.
After he attempts to murder him. Right?
So with the fairy or whatever?
No, Riles is the one with the burned face.
Yeah. Oh, Ryan's?
Oh, yeah, Ryan's, whatever.
Yeah, I don't remember what.
He's the one with the burned face that
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, show-wise, of Witcher, he's the one they're teasing in Season 2.
Ryan's is in Season 2, but he's a completely different character. Like, not completely different, but he's a little bit different.
Well, he's normal until Yen burns him through the portal, which he escapes, and then you see the burned face at the end of the season.
Yep.
But you still don't know, show-wise, you have no idea who he's working for.
Yeah, yeah.
Book-wise, you still don't know. And Geralt is pissed because Philippa's there.
Yeah.
And Philippa, like, lets him go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I hate wizards.
Yeah, they're all a bunch of fucking asshats.
Yeah. So that's where it ends or whatever. Is her leaving the temple. So we're starting into the over the hump stage of like, all right, we're slowly learning who's powerful. Let's go. You're understand what's in you. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does she ever go full crazy?
Which one?
Ciri. Like, to the point where I know her to go.
Yeah.
Or do they not really approach that?
Yes and no. I mean, she struggles. Kind of, yeah. She kind of does. Not till the very, very end, though. Where she kind of puts it all together.
And then just goes ape shit.
Yeah, and then kind of goes nuts, and then... Which it kind of does lead nicely into the game. Into the games, I guess, but really it's...
Right.
The third one that's... it kind of leads nicely into.
They still haven't like brought up the Dooney thing, which is funny.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
Yeah, I know.
It's not until literally like the last chapter of the book.
Yep.
Of the last book.
Yep. They like were bringing up them dying again in this book when they were talking about.
So it'll be
memories.
interesting because if you can get the breadcrumbs, because like if you have no idea, you don't pick up on the breadcrumbs.
They haven't even brought up like not him being Dooney, but like they haven't talked to who he is anyway.
Yeah,
like he hasn't been even brought up.
So
or wait, no, he hasn't.
He probably gets indirectly referenced at this stage.
The only thing I was thinking of was if he was at the round table that happens when they're all saying that they need to kill the Lion Cub of Sintra.
No.
But he's not there.
No.
He's actually, I believe it is indicated specifically that he's not there. Because there's like multiple people missing from that conversation that should have been there.
Well, he's at this point in the books we're really going on tangents here.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
At this point in the book, he's the war hasn't started yet, or has
no, the war's coming.
The war's coming. So yeah,
that's what the round table is discussing is if a war is to break out, which more than likely it will, then who controls the Sintra part because they don't know who's alive, like to take it.
Yeah,
because they assume Ciri dead.
Yeah. Yeah, so at this point, they are perceiving him as an enemy at this point still.
Yeah.
Which he shows up and is in the story, but, if you aren't familiar with, who's who, you don't know that of his significance in that way. You're just kind of like, oh, this is just this guy. And then you don't find out until the very last chapter. They're like, "Oh, wait a second, they're the same person."
Yeah, I don't think he's shown up yet.
No, I don't think he shows up later. I think than you, and he shows up in like a completely random like way. He doesn't necessarily like not show up. I guess like he's introduced in a completely random way where you're just like, "Oh, I guess we're I guess we're just talking to this guy now, or like he's just monologuing or whatever the fuck's going on.
Oh, does he not just randomly be like, "Oh, and here's the king"? Like that just.
Yeah, it's kind of just like, oh yeah, and then there's fucking, emperor fucking whatever.
Yeah.
And they don't even like, they do the introduction. They do that introduction to where like they don't say who he is, but like the other characters are like
all aware,
are like treating him in a really weird way, and you're just like, well, who the fuck's this guy? And then like,
of course,
yeah, it's interesting.
Well, either way, on to book 4. So moving right along.
Oh yeah,
I think I've only got 2 more to go after that.
Time of Contempt.
It's either 6 or 7. I can't remember the total number. I think it's 6 with an optional 7th. Because of the one you can like randomly insert after 2.
I think the optional one's 8, which
okay.
is the not Sword of Destiny.
No, Sword of Destiny.
Season of Storms.
Season of Storms, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, on to Time of Contempt.
Which I don't understand. Seasons of Storms. That's just weird. It's just gonna be weird. Yeah.
Alrighty. Alright, well, it's been 7 days. Don't talk about those other 7 days, and we will see you guys in another 7 days. Ha! See what we did there? A lot of 7s. Bye-bye.